Hello, my name is Jeff. I run the Vintage Volts website, and for my retro challenge this summer, 2013, I am going to take a Texas Instruments TI-99 4A, complete with peripheral expansion box, that's a mouthful, and get it completely running and working some software on it. What I have here, this is stage one, step one of my process, is a peripheral expansion box, otherwise known as a PEB, and I'm working on the PEB right now. I have 3 of these in my collection. I have never ever tested a single one of them. I had them since 1995, 96, and I haven't done anything with them since. So, you know, for this retro challenge, it's probably a good idea that I do so. Okay, some details about the expansion box, other than the fact that it weighs about 30 or 40 pounds. Think of this like the expansion slots of a modern PC. Underneath this cover are 8 expansion slots numbered 1 through 8, and there are, I guess, doors on the front. Boy, this thing's dusty. One of my steps is to clean this. And each of these has a single light in it, so when the card that's in there is active, the light will come on. There's also a single floppy disk drive. I believe it's single-sided, about 150 to 170K. Unfortunately, it's a bit dirty. I'll show some close-ups later, but I do see a lot of dirt and filth in here. Power switch over here turns the whole peripheral, the PEB on. Connected via a very large flat ribbon cable is the connector interface, which goes into the side of a TI-99 home computer. Now, let me turn this around. Take a look at stuff on the back other than the cobwebs. We have some pass-through connections here. I don't know what this is for until I open up the inside. This looks like it might be a serial connector of some sort, maybe a parallel port. This is the interface that goes to the computer. Standard style power plug, and of course a fused power supply. And this fuse does look pretty good. Don't know how well that shows up. It's looks like a slow blow fuse, wire wrapped around the core. And underneath here are 2 tabs. They're like just kind of pieces of metal. You just press them and the cover lifts up, but I will do it with the unit turned around. Press the tabs. Lift the top. Here are our expansion cards. Starting with this card here, these cards go in. They're completely sealed in plastic or metal. This one's metal, but they all basically it's just basically a bus plane. So everything connects together through the bus. Starting with this card, this of course will connect into the bus and then connect to every other card. But every single one of them is in a is in a solid case like this. So I'll put this one back here. Next card I have is RS-232 interface. This will give me serial port capabilities in a very huge card. That's amazing. I may take these cards apart individually just to clean out on the inside, but I'll put this back in its slot. I don't think it makes a difference where it goes, as long as it goes into a slot, so I'll put that in number 3. This card, 32K memory expansion. I believe the TI-99 comes with, oh wow, it's been a while, 8 or 16K. It might actually be less. It might actually come with 4K, but we'll find out. It's either through a front-loading solid-state module that you get additional memory on the TI-99 for, or if you have the PEB, you can get the expansion through a plug-in card. There's certainly enough metal in these things. There we go. There's a slot right here that goes down into a slot. It's a matter of getting it down into the connectors underneath. You can see the connectors here. It's standard bus style connectors. Kind of looks like the old ISA cards. Now that I moved the camera, it's not going to stay where I put it. Let's give it a shot here. Not good enough. Last card is the disc controller card itself. Now this one, I don't know if it'll be easy to take out without removing the disk drive first. I believe it's connected partially underneath. Let me see if I can't remove this cover, since I'm going to have to get into it anyway to clean it. Okay, I may have to do some more dismantling on the back side to pull this out, but I do definitely want to take this drive out because it is a bit filthy on the inside. I'll see if I can't get the camera closer. You see the dirt in there? Unfortunately, I'm a bad collector if I let this happen to my stuff, but for all I know, it was like this when I got it. I really didn't pay attention, because when I got all this stuff, I got these 3 PEB boxes and a bunch of cartridges. What else did I get? I got some discs. They're somewhere. Hopefully I'll find them before the retro challenge is over, because I'm going to definitely want to try out the disk drive, especially with some pre-made software, pre-recorded software. So I got 3 of the expansion boxes, a couple of the TI-99, some cartridges, a bunch of books. At a yard sale back in '95, '96, and I only spent $15 for everything. Granted, that was a good deal, but better late than never trying to get these things up and running. So this is my next challenge, getting this thing cleaned up. And after I get it all cleaned up, power supply is under here, disk drive is under here. I'm just going to take it all apart. I just want to make sure that no bugs or other critters got inside of it, because you know how that can happen with equipment that sits around in the same spot for a very long period of time. And if I can't get this to work, I'll do the same thing to one of the other two. It looks like it might have been the screw for the disk drive on the bottom. Let's find out. Yep, that's it. Look at that, it's beginning to slide out. Okay. Looks like a standard power supply and a standard 5 1/4 inch floppy connector. This might show some promise. Yeah, for the most part, it isn't all that bad. A lot of the dirt here is just, I would say, superficial. It just kind of collected on this because this side was down, so gravity brought it down. The other side's not very dirty at all. In fact, I don't even see any dirt. The circuit board is really good. All the connectors on the underside where the motor is and the drive belt, that's all looking really good. So as far as cleaning is concerned, I could probably remove this plastic here because it looks like it's held on with 2 screws, and then onto this board I could probably pull that aside and wipe it down. Now I can make this super clean, super shiny, but I just want to get most of the dirt away. I'm not going to get every nook and cranny, although I could probably obsess myself into doing so. Basically, I wanted to take all this apart to make sure there wasn't any bugs or nests or anything like that in it, and so far we're looking pretty good. Just give this a little bit of a wipe down, check underneath here. It's all looking really good. The head is actually looking surprisingly well, but I will hit that with a spot of alcohol on a Q-tip as soon as I find out where I put all my cleaning stuff. I recently rearranged my workbench and now I forgot where I put everything. Okay, got my cleaning Q-tip, spot of alcohol here. And it is a single-sided drive. There's only one head inside there on the lower side. I'll just give it a spot with this. Looks like there was a little bit of dirt on it, but I'll just see a little bit more alcohol in it. Just wipe it down till I'm not getting any more residue. And it's actually looking pretty good now, so time to put it back together. Look inside the box here. Not much to it. You can see there's just the data cable, the power cable, and the rail that it slides on. There's a little bit of dust and dirt in here, so I'll brush that out. Much better. Actually quite clean inside there. Now I'll put the cover back on the drive. That's it. Tab back in place. Now hook the data cable up. It's got a notch on it to key it one direction. And the power connector, put that back in. And line up these holes with these holes up here. I'm going to go ahead and pull these cards. I have a feeling I got to remove all these outer screws here, all around the base and across the other side, in order to remove the entire front panel to get to the inside to the power supply. Something is holding it up front. I have no idea what's holding this. It's like almost there. Here's the question: would it be cheating in a retro challenge if I used the internet to get my answers? Because that's not how I would have figured this out back in the day. I would have hoped I had a book. If I didn't have a book, I would go buy one. Simply cannot figure out what's holding this on, unless these front panels here come off somehow. It's a complete mystery. Now I have to decide where I want to go from here. Do I want to take it down completely? Yeah, you can see in here there's not much to this bus system. This is the bus. It's got power wires going to it. Standard bus. It just, connects everything across, and it gets mounted down with 4 screws in the front, 4 screws in the back through that mounting plate. So I don't know what to say. I guess I'm going to assume the power supply is clean, because I have other ones that I can use. Maybe I will cheat. Maybe I'll go online and see how it comes apart. I just cannot find any more screws, and I don't want to break this. I know there's screws underneath here. I just can't seem to get this part off. Let's see, this is weird. There are screws holding this onto this chassis under here, but I have to take this off to get to the screws to hold this front cover off, or hold the front cover on. Your guess is as good as mine. I'll just dust this out back together. There's always that one screw, isn't there? Ah, I see it. Okay, let's take a look at some of the cards. Starting with the disc controller. Sticker. Sticker's holding it together. That's how works a disc controller for a TI-99 PEB. F01771A chip. Probably some sort of customized microprocessor. Everything else is a lot of TTL Logic 7400 series integrated circuits. These might be ROMs, probably masked ROMs since they don't have the little glass window, but they are numbered in a series like 1501392-33 and -34. Typically paired ROMs are labeled in some sort of numeric sequence, so this might just be a customized floppy controller, or being that it's Texas Instruments, it's probably a customized CPU designed to run any program, or at least a program that's provided with these ROMs. So, and this board just simply comes out of the aluminized pewter case. Not much to it, and relatively clean on the inside. Now all I got to do is get this ribbon cable up inside a slot in the back and mount it into this thing. The power connector actually goes underneath the expansion box. It goes behind everything to the power supply. Oh, and here's the little LED that will pass through those optical cones and light up out here when it's in operation. Oh, that was pretty easy. The next item we have is the 32K expansion memory module. Open this up and see what it looks like on the inside. Okay, there we go. 32K RAM. All in 4116 chips, which are dynamic RAM. These are, I think, 200 millisecond, if I'm reading that right. Yeah, not the fastest thing in the world, but it's pretty good for the day. And it's nice and clean inside here. Backside also. Put that back together and put it in the PEB. Next card, RS-232 interface. Okay, this one's pretty clean on the inside also. Both sides of the board. Oh, what is this? A little something got in there. Don't know what it looks like. Looks like it might have been some sort of like a spider pod or whatever they make over the winter time. Other than that, it looks pretty good. But yeah, I had this thing in a storage unit for a while, so who knows what could have crawled in there. I guess it could have been worse. But I'll take the little empty spider pod over something a little more gross. And now finally, I'll take this part off if I can. Maybe I can't. I'll leave that be for now. This is the flex cable interface. This is basically what connects the TI-99 to the PEB. Not a whole lot to this circuit. Huge ground plane too. Very huge ground plane. Board's really clean. And it's really just a matter of basic TTL components. 74LS244, 74LS245. Yeah, there's three 74LS244s and a 74LS245. I mean, I can look them up later, find out what they are, but it's probably some sort of clocking chip. Between these chips, it's basically, it buffers the input and output between the computer and the PEB. You know, no microprocessor controlling here. It's just, you know, simple digital interfacing and signal buffering. I have a drawer full of these parts if it should ever go bad. Okay, all the cards are back in. Now all we need to do is install the floppy drive again and screw that down, and we should be good to go. And there we go, a thoroughly inspected and relatively clean Texas Instruments peripheral expansion box. Next step, we dig out a TI-99/4A.
Stay tuned for scenes from Part 2 of the Retro Challenge 2013 project on Vintage Volts.
Looking for a powerful home computer? This is the one. Texas Instruments home computer. With 16K memory, it can take you a long way. Want a computer with a lot of software? Oh, yeah, this is the one. The TI home computer gives you more of these software cartridges than any computer in the world. The whole world. So, With all the power you have here to run all the power here, this is the one. The home computer from Texas Instruments. This is the one.
And now, scenes from Part 2 of the Retro Challenge 2013 project on Vintage Volts.